InfoHub. In our headlines, government ministers meet sugar workers at Enmore, Skeldon and Rose Hall estates. Sud turned for New Amsterdam Hospital's maternity ward. And maintenance of interior roads returned to the GGMC. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. And now for the details. At a meeting with laid-off sugar workers at Skeldon, Berbice, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu reminded that the government's agenda is not to shut down the industry, but to focus on the estates that are productive. Details in this report.
Scores of former Gaisuku employees and stakeholders of the Berbice sugar industry were today told by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu that more than 1,600 redundant workers will begin receiving their severance pay next Tuesday.
This is not a political meeting. This is a meeting for you. And when the news went wrong that government ministers were coming to Berbice, I received calls from people in Georgetown who wanted to come. And they wanted to be here. Member of Parliament Michael Carrington, he said, there are people who want to come because they want to tell Skeldon that they are not alone. You have solidarity. You have friends. You have people who understand that this is a very tough time in your life. That an estate and a factory had to be closed. And I'm not going to give the reasons. Minister Sharma told you what the Commission of Inquiry said. But we know that all efforts have been made to bring us to where we are at this point. And at this point is, as the ministers have said, severance will be paid on Tuesday. On Tuesday.
Additionally, the Prime Minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to Gaisuku with continued financial support. This will continue, he stated, even as it continues to engage overseas investors through NISIL and the Special Projects Unit to ensure future job creation.
Today, we are looking at the industry and we realize that you cannot cut the sugar industry loose. Too many lives depend on sugar and revenues and foreign exchange. We still are committed to give Gaisuku money to help them to tidy over, prepare IFLOC Wales, to do refurbishment at Albion, to help to prepare new lands at Bremen. We committed in the budget this year $6.3 billion more for Gaisuku. We took back $500 million from that to throw into the severance pay fund because we thought that is very important right now. But we have to still continue to maintain the 11,000 workers who are attached to these estates.
According to Minister within the Finance Ministry, Jaipal Sharma, the government's decision to reorganize Gaisuku was premised on the continued decline of the sugar industry. Sharma reminded that to date, for the short time that the government has been in office, in excess of $36.5 billion has been spent as bailout money for the entity. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Meanwhile, a high-level ministerial team met with Enmore sugar workers today. More in this Alexis Rodney report.
The right-sizing of the sugar industry has thrown many sugar workers into despair. However, realizing the realities of the situation, government continues to meet with those sugar workers. The team of ministers included Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan, Minister of Telecommunication Kathy Hughes, Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix, and Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources Simone Brooms. The ministers took turns in reassuring workers that the decision made was both in theirs and the country's interest.
We then indicated that we have to make certain big decisions. Right sizing is where we were thinking about. And we indicated that we have to get a group of experts. The group of experts went and they did all their studies and indicated a set of recommendations to us. And what it is that we are now implementing is but the set of recommendations. People within the union, GAU, can say what it is that they want, but we are recommending and implementing certain decisions to save the industry.
Minister of Public Telecommunication Kathy Hughes told the workers that much can still be achieved in spite of the circumstances.
We got to get excited about Guyana. When the oil starts to flow and all those people are in here, they're going to need more catering. They're going to need all kinds of services. And we are the ones that must be able to take advantage of it. So the time you take cussing and carrying on with each other and it's gloom and doom, start thinking, what am I going to do to take advantage of this situation?
The sugar workers were assured that they will begin receiving their severance payments on Monday, January 29th. For workers who are owed $500,000 or less, will receive 100% of their severance. For those who are required to be paid over $500,000, will receive 50% on Monday. Reporting from the Enmore Estate on the east coast of Demerara, I'm Alexis Rodney for InfoHub.
Here now is Stacey Carmichael with this week's Cabinet Roundup.
State Minister Joseph Harmon today explained that during a meeting between government and the two unions representing the sugar workers, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union GAWU and the National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees NACI, several proposals were made in relation to returning the industry to viability.
The infusion of private capital through partnerships, the issuance of bonds and other investment devices, and through funding under the Guyana Green State Development Strategy. They agreed, that is the unions, that privatization was an option to be pursued, but advised that maximum value should be sought for the assets.
Minister Harmon said that government is exploring the possibility of providing lands to retrenched sugar workers for agricultural purposes. However, he made it clear that the lands will be allocated in a structured way following valuation of Gaisuco's assets. The valuation is currently being conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers. In relation to border issues, Minister Harmon clarified that the Guyana Police and Defense Forces have a heavy presence at key immigration points at the borders with Guyana's three neighbors, Venezuela, Suriname, and Brazil. He stressed the need for persons to utilize these immigration points. There are also regular meetings of the National Security Council regarding border and other security issues.
It's a large border, and therefore sometimes things happen before you can actually do something to prevent a violation of our territorial integrity. But I want to give the nation the assurance that at the level of the government, at the level of our security forces, we have taken some very decisive steps.
And finally, a draft public-private partnership policy document will be laid in the National Assembly. Minister Harmon said the document proposes that government will be investing heavily in catalytic physical infrastructure, renewable energy and the environment, agricultural diversification, and ICT. The policy document is intended to create the appropriate institutional and legal framework for encouraging the private sector to play a more important role in procuring and financing infrastructure projects through public-private partnerships. In addition, a copy of an external loan agreement between the Government of Guyana and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, to the tune of $63.5 million as financing for government's adequate housing and urban accessibility program was presented by the Finance Minister.
The loan represents a reassignment of the undisbursed balance of a previous one that had been granted to finance the road network upgrade and expansion program, but which was discontinued. Cabinet noted the loan agreement and directed that it be laid in the National Assembly in accordance with Section 3(6) of the External Loans Act.
For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
The New Amsterdam Hospital's new maternity ward is one step closer to reality. Ronetta LaFleur was there for the sod turning.
The sod was turned and the contract was signed yesterday to greenlight the construction of the $191 million new maternity ward in the New Amsterdam Hospital. Minister of Public Health Vold Lawrence said the new wing will significantly improve clinical and management services.
This new wing will be able to offer more theater services, labor room, birthing room, post-anesthetic unit and neonatal intensive care unit. I know you already have one, but now we're going to be able to upgrade it. And also to ensure that the neonatal care, surgery, and aftercare for both mother and child, that those services are upgraded.
This multi-million-dollar venture is a collaboration between the Ministries of Public Health and communities. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan revealed that a monitoring committee will be established to ensure that the materials used and the standards of works executed are to the contract specification.
Too often, we hear and we read about public projects that have been executed which suffers from a lack of proper supervision. And from the outset, we are determined that this project does not suffer from that fate.
Region 6 Chairman David Armagon lauded the initiative, noting that there will no longer be complaints of inadequate space at the present maternity unit. When completed, the new one-story rectangular ward will cater for 100 beds, parking facilities, 2 operating theaters, and 4 delivery rooms, among other necessities. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
In an effort to modernize the healthcare system with a focus placed on leasing and retrofitting laboratories, public health officials on Thursday met with representatives of Siemens Healthineers in search of a new partnership. Zenil Williams brings us that report.
Minister of Public Health, Walla Lawrence, noted the ministry's focus, apart from leasing and retrofitting this year, will be the improvement of the nation's laboratories. She expressed optimism that this could be achieved with partnerships with companies such as Siemens.
I want to ensure that as far as possible we can be able to have upgraded laboratories that can offer services in the hinterland, so that we can reduce the number of medivacs, which will assist those specialist doctors that we have sent to those regions to be able to provide the services for people. This will be our priority for this year with Siemens or any other company that comes to Guyana. We are looking at not a piecemeal approach, but we want to look at it in a very holistic and economic way.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummings, noted the presence of the Siemens Healthineers comes at a significant time when the public health sector is looking to advance its services.
Guyana is on the move, and a bright future awaits the Guyanese people. And we do not want to be left behind in terms of healthcare. We know it's technologically driven, and we want to remain on the cutting edge. They spoke about molecular imaging and some of our diagnostics, improving our labs, and we look forward to see if we can partner with them so that we can improve the kind of have the knowledge transfer and improve operational efficiency.
Siemens Healthcare Marketing and Business Partner Manager Roberto Tavar Cruz said his company hopes to share their expertise with an objective of helping Guyana to develop strategies for providing improved health care. Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
The Department of Tourism officially launched the 24th Inter-American Congress of Ministers and High-Level Authorities of Tourism on January 25 at the Umaniana, Georgetown. Here's that report.
Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin noted the importance of hosting the high-level event, especially as it will contribute to Guyana's economy in various ways.
It's an opportunity for us, first of all, and Mr. Sinclair did mention this, to demonstrate our capacity to host high-level events such as this, international events. But more importantly, it raises our profile, and it allows us to showcase Guyana, showcase us to the rest of the region, and at a very high level. And we have a lot to showcase. As far as tourism is concerned, Guyana is a fairly young destination, but that doesn't mean that we have to be timid or that we have to take a back seat. I think we can have a place at the table, and I think hosting this event gives us a place at the table, at least as far as regional or hemispheric tourism is concerned.
Commending government's commitment to hosting the high-level event, OAS Representative Jean-Rico Demuse said he particularly likes the theme for the 24th Congress since he believes it will bring the Americas together.
It highlights the importance of connecting peoples, businesses, communities, and experiences in the Americas through the promotion of travel and tourism. It highlights the need for an expansion of tourism within the Americas. It highlights the stark reality that no country can make it alone. Either we work and thrive together, or we decline in isolation.
The event is slated from March 21 to 22, 2018 at the Marriott Hotel under the theme Connecting the Americas Through Sustainable Tourism. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
Please be reminded that January has been designated Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Women 21 years and older are reminded to have their pap smears done, since early detection saves lives. Thank you for watching. Remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.